Hello, welcome back to another edition of Brandon Cooks. Before we get started, ignore the thing in my arm. It's not broken, it's just a recurring injury that I will live with for a long time. It looks worse than it is. We're all fine. Okay, so for today, we're playing with a whole bunch of things that I got for Christmas. So we're gonna try out some new stuff. So I got a sous vide machine. I don't really know what you call it. For my dad and stepmom. So it looks like this and it clips onto either a water container or in this case, a pot because that's what I have. Sous vide cooking is kind of a low and slow process. I had never really done it before. I did a test run last night and it was good. So we're going to try it again. So it'll heat your water up to whatever the temperature is. And then in this case, we're going to do a 2-hour cook. It brings everything, like all of the meat or veggies or whatever it is that you're cooking, all to the same exact temperature, which in theory would then make it juicier, more tender. And afterwards, we're going to do some searing and we'll go over to the stove for that. So I have a new ring light over there and a mic, and we're trying all sorts of stuff. So hopefully this all goes well. Thanks to everybody who gave me things and is encouraging me to keep this series going. So for this, we're doing a ribeye. I went to Costco the other day and I got 3 big ones that I then cut in half. So I like the ones from Costco or like your local butcher because they're a thicker cut. I think ribeye does better in a thicker cut than like a thinner ones that you can sometimes buy. I used to work at a super Target in the meat department and I got to sample all sorts of certain steaks. And so that's where I learned that ribeye is my favorite and it's delicious. So I recommend that, but this will work with any steak that you've got. Especially one that is maybe a cheaper cut that's not as tender. This would probably be good for that because it's going to cook longer, slower, and help kind of break down some of those pieces inside the steak. So again, this looks like a smaller one. This is actually about 0.75 pounds, something like that. So again, it's thicker, so it looks bigger than it actually is. It's plenty for me. And again, it's an expensive cut of steak, so I like to stretch it further. So this is going to go in. I just have salt and pepper on here and some avocado oil, and then it is vacuum sealed. This machine came with stuff to do it, but I also have a vacuum seal food saver thing that I could use, the same concept. So I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to make sure it's fully submerged in the water they already have in here. This is some hot water, and we're going to clip it on here so it doesn't go away. Then we're going to set up my sous vide. We're going to do 2 hours and 135 degrees Fahrenheit. This is what I had it set at yesterday. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it on. And so the water that's in here right now is 109 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to go up to 135 degrees, and then it'll start the 2-hour cook on this. This is the largest pot that I have. So if I was going to cook this for multiple people, I might look at getting a larger container of some kind, like plastic or a larger pot or something, just because this could easily get crowded if I had multiple things in here. So this is now just going to go. I'll see you back when this is done. We're then going to take it out, let it rest for 5 minutes. I'm going to meet you over at the stove, and we are going to sear on both sides and make some magic happen over there. So I will see you in a little while. Okay, things are going to go a little bit fast now. So my pan is heated. I'm going to just drop in some avocado oil, not olive oil. Use avocado or another high smoke point type of oil. Olive oil is going to burn and not taste good. So I'm going to go for 90 seconds on this side. Once this is done, I'm going to flip it. I'll show you the crust. And we're going to do 90 seconds on the other side, but we're also going to do some other magic. So I'll see you when this is done. All right, time to flip. You can see we're getting a nice color on there. Maybe we could let that go a little bit more, but nice crust. It doesn't take long. Flip to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. But this time, though, I'm going to go right in with 2 tablespoons of butter. If that melts quick. And then I've got a couple twigs of rosemary and thyme that are fresh. I'm going to drop these in, then I'm going to back away because it's going to bubble up a lot. This is going to flavor the butter, and we're going to baste here in a second once all the butter gets melted and the herbs have had a little bit of time to kind of exert their flavor. All right, we're going to tilt your pan, let the juices come, move this out of the way, and we're going to baste. Just moving your juices back over. It's going to help flavor the steak even more. The good thing about sous vide, so there's this fat cap that's on this side that has kind of cooked really well, and the sous vide helps with that. Otherwise, if it's not tender enough, you can certainly flip this and just sear the side where the fat is for a little bit. I usually cut that off, even though a lot of people like to eat it. Let's just let this go for a little bit. You can see my crust down there, looking really good. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna pull my herbs. And there's some I'm gonna put right on top of it just to impart a little bit even more flavor. And then I'm gonna cover this in a minute with some foil. Rub that off. All right, now we're gonna make a red wine reduction. I have a Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's really simple. So back away when you do this. It's gonna bubble a lot. The goodness that was there at the bottom of the pan is starting to come up now, and this will help flavor my sauce. I love this sauce, and it's super simple. So I'm not a red wine drinker, but I always do the Cabernet Sauvignon for this. I get it from Total Wine, usually stay around the $8 mark because I don't drink it a lot. If I needed to, I would. I'm just not a red wine guy. But I love this sauce. And all it is red wine and butter. So this is going to reduce, still at a higher heat here. Maybe like 5 minutes, watch it closely. This is going to reduce to almost nothing. It's going to be a really kind of thick syrup. Once you move your spatula against the pan like this, it's not going to come back together very quickly. It'll also be pretty dark. Depending on the wine that you use, it could be darker or lighter. This one's a little bit lighter than I normally do. But I'm going to show you what this looks like when it's done and we mix the butter in. All right, my sauce is about almost there. You can see it's almost all fully reduced. It's getting a little bit darker. Put it together and doesn't come back together quite as quickly. Let this go for just a little bit, but it happens pretty quickly. All right, I'm gonna turn this off, remove from heat. I'm gonna add another 2 tablespoons of butter, and you're just gonna melt this in. Sometimes I use cold butter, sometimes I've had it sitting out. This I've had sitting out for a couple hours, is what it is. But you want to fully get this all melted, and you'll be able to see where the where the wine and the butter don't mix well. Just get it all together. They're going to meld really well. I know like fancy chefs, they'll make a wine reduction that has a lot more stuff in it. I just like this. I think it adds really good flavor, and it's real good. So once this is all kind of incorporated together, I have a measuring cup thing here that I can pour from that I'm going to move this into. You can also serve it right from the pan. It's just sometimes easier to put it in there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and slice into my steak. This is what my wine sauce looks like, and I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. Okay, so here's our steak all cut up. There's some nice juices flowing in there. I was going for medium rare. This might be a little over that, but that's okay. A little bit more medium, but have it super sliced into like 1/4-inch pieces. This is my sauce. It's all nice and decadent. Gotta go ahead and pour this over. Go. And then we're gonna finish with some flaky sea salt. And there you have it. Sous vide ribeye with a red wine reduction sauce. Enjoy.